Welcome to another episode of Coding Conversations. Jay, what's been going on, man?
It's going, man. It's going. So over here trying to figure out this express and react stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's how it goes, man. Sometimes you just gotta struggle till you get it.
Yeah. But the thing is I had it for a while, you know. I had my own apps up and everything, and I ended up deleting a lot of older projects. But now it's like you want to go back and like see how certain things were done, and I can't. I gotta find other solutions online. So
Right.
I'm trying to piece it together. Remember the steps.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you don't use it, you lose it, man. Like
Yeah.
so,
That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling.
man. I've actually been looking into like 3D JavaScript engines. I don't know. Have you heard of like Babylon.js? They also have 3.js.
I've heard of 3.js. What's the? I guess whenever I think of like 3D, I think of like Unity or like 3ds Max or like CAD programs. Like, what's the benefit
Right.
of doing? What's the benefit of doing 3D in JavaScript?
I mean, basically, they could just go to the web browser and utilize whatever. They don't have to download
Right.
like a plugin. So
Yeah.
you know how like Facebook and Microsoft, they're kind of going to the metaverse type thing.
Yeah.
So for somebody to just be able to pull up into the browser and kind of like be able to enter a 3D world, try pulling up the Babylon JS website. They got some cool demos, that and the 3.js.
Yeah. All right. Let me share my screen.
Like honestly, I kind of feel like that's where the web is going.
Like a lot of just
like more interactive, immersive type of experiences, as opposed to, right now it's almost like you're visiting a digital advertisement or digital brochure or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you click the little hamburger menu, they should have some cool examples.
Oh, they have games.
And they also got, yeah, exactly. Like they got like a little Minecraft remake and.
Oh, so they're letting people just. Oh, that's sick. I thought it was just like regular, just 3D graphics itself, but I guess if you can make a whole experience, that's
Right.
cool.
And they got like a little playground where you can experiment with it. Like that's kind of like the advantage of JavaScript. You can do everything like so quickly. Exactly, and let other people try your stuff out.
Oh, that link doesn't go anywhere.
No, wow.
Oh yeah, they got a little loader, and then that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? It's like almost instantaneous.
Yeah. And
like I can kind of like picture like like a clothing website where they have like a digital model and you can kind of put like digital versions of the clothes on to kind of see like, okay, this outfit will look good, this will look good with these pants or whatever.
Yeah.
This shirt will look good with these pants. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it feels a little stuttery. I don't know if that was just the game or my browser, but no, never mind. This feels really smooth.
Yeah, I think it's, just performance is up to the coder pretty much.
Yeah. Doesn't it always come down to us?
All right.
Why does it perform so bad? Well, because that's cool. No, this is nice.
Yeah, these graphics are actually pretty good,
Yeah. I wonder if anybody's like made like full-on games using this.
Somebody made like a Minecraft, like remade Minecraft in it. I tested it out. It's pretty cool.
Scene picking, physics engine. Oh, is this open source? It seems like.
Yeah. Yep. Like if you go to the hamburger menu, they also have like a little playground where you can kind of edit things in real time.
Where
Let's see.
learn or
Do they have one like that says like playground or anything?
playground?
I wonder why yours is it looked like you got
Tools.
the it looked like you got the mobile menu. But yeah, you can kind of like uh edit this and then hit the play button and it'll update immediately. So
Oh, that's cool. Spear diameter. What if I change this to 20? Something like that. I guess you didn't like that. 2.
try yeah,
So
try
say
like
4.
yeah,
Oh, whoa. Okay. See. Built-in sphere. 1. Makes it smaller. That's cool. Oh, and I can just view. Oh, this is like my camera view almost.
right. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was kind of playing around with this like applying color and texture to the primitives, and
Yeah.
I think this is something I'm gonna start spending more time in because I kind of feel like this is where the web is gonna start going.
Right.
And I think like this is like starting to get into slightly more advanced programming than the typical CRUD app.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like reading, take this form, update this, and yeah,
Hmm.
no, I hear you. I hear you. I've been thinking about getting into like, I don't know how crazy this would be. Like just create like a small game. Like I've done it in Python a
Right.
long time ago,
Hmm.
and I probably forgot all of it now. But you know, it would be cool to just like have like a small project to do like on Twitch or something, like on the
Right.
weekends, and then like just see where it goes from there.
Yeah, this is kind of like always like what I've wanted to more so get into. Like this is interesting to me. Making regular websites really isn't that interesting.
Right. This is
Yeah,
cool. I like this.
yeah, yeah.
Sounds like
It looked good. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's almost like the
Are you
AR.
are you manipulating that or?
No. I'm not. This is all.
Okay.
This is all. Uh. Oh, am I able to go into the demo?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Let's see. Oh wow, like this actually looks pretty good. I guess this is kind of like letting people have a house
Wow.
tour. Or,
Yeah, without actually being in the home. But then can
like
I?
I could see like a big like IKEA or something having like an app like
Mhm.
this, like kind of like place that like like that couch. You could replace that model with a different couch
Yeah.
that they have there, change the colors.
Yep. Yep. This is almost like VR. You could port this over to like VR, and then
Yeah, that would be.
yeah, you can see like the TV and stuff, and yeah, I wish you could move. I don't know what like what technology or what they would need to implement for me to like have a different camera angle. Because right now,
You
like
could probably move if you hit the arrow keys, or not the arrow keys, like WASD.
yeah, it's the arrow keys, both.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Is that Game of Thrones? Yeah, I knew it. It was Game of Thrones on the TV.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is actually pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I wonder how long it takes like these people to come up with these demos, right? Like, why can't that walk
Mm,
past here? Enchantress.
I guess like the collision detection is like really aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not how good
And
you are.
3.js is the other engine. I think 3.js actually, yeah, is a little more is it looks a little bit better, but Babylon is, I guess, more user friendly.
Mm. 3D comic.
What is this? 3D comic?
I guess they use 3.js to make a comic.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's just like a model, but like with black
Yeah,
and white shading.
it's crazy.
Like you could rotate that, can't you?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah. It gives people a reason to come back.
Actually, that'd be like imagine like maybe like a Marvel comic like this, like where you can
Yeah.
kind of like rotate the scene. I mean,
Yeah. And see the whole scene
that'd
in
be kind
different
of cool. But
perspectives.
then again, you could also just exactly.
That's cool. Now with like the metaverse and stuff, right? Like how are they? How does that avatar stuff work? Right? Are you just putting on like a VR helmet and you have like the little VR, I guess the controllers in your hands? Is that how it works? Or
Uh, I don't think I'm not sure like all the metaverses are necessarily like VR, but I guess like is initially is like you just have your own 3D avatar and you
right?
can kind of interact with the digital world. You know, you remember PlayStation Home?
Yeah, I remember PlayStation Home.
Yeah, I'm thinking, you know, a lot of these implementations are going to be something along those lines. And, you know, I think Microsoft, we all know Facebook is trying to jump into it with Meta,
Yeah,
but to hear Microsoft also jumping into it, to me, that tells me that's kind of like, you know, the future of the web in a way. You know, interestingly enough, Facebook found out that some guy, he owns like, I guess he trademarked the Meta name. He tried to beat Facebook to it and was
oh,
trying to
did he?
sell him that name for like 20 million. Yeah,
What
I
happened?
heard something like that.
Did they buy it?
Oh, can you search for that story real quick?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. They're
So,
probably gonna get the lawyers on them and make them come up off of it.
well, are they what did they faced a battle with trademark? Is that it?
Let me see. Okay, I think that's it.
Meta PC filed it in August, and Insider Facebook News was a shock. Yeah, the company told TMZ it will stand down if Microsoft repays them $20 million.
That's crazy. I'm surprised like Facebook wasn't more on the ball with that. Like you would think they would have everything
Right?
lined up before they unveiled it. But
Yeah, they probably just nobody's gonna have this name. But man, no, if
that's kind of like a common name, Meta.
yeah, they got because you look at meta tags and stuff, right? Like if I go on
Right.
this page, it's like there's meta tags.
I'm thinking they just kind of rushed this out just to take the heat off of the negative stories they've been having.
Yeah, like hey guys,
Like let's
no
do
longer
something.
do something positive real quick. Yeah, that's crazy.
Some Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, enters the metaverse race with 3D avatars and
Like
immersive meetings.
yeah, it's kind of interesting but weird. Like, you know, you would think with meetings you would want to actually have people fire on their webcams,
Yeah,
but I guess 3D avatars work.
I know some people that are
You,
gonna be like,
you know
"Oh,
why
turn
I
on your
think they're really
webcam."
pushing towards this is I think they're really pushing towards this because they want to start selling like, you know, like the microtransactions, like oh, you could buy these
Yeah,
Gucci suit for
yep,
your meta character for
yep. It's
$50 or
it's
something.
like real life Sims, right? You got your character, you gotta dress them up, and you know they could wear an ugly Christmas sweater. They could dress up for Halloween. They could, yeah, man. You could just throw all types of microtransactions into the mix if they want to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like you know kind of like how Steam has the App Store or Apple has the App Store,
Mm-hmm.
and you know they're like the central hub, and everybody has to pay them these royalties. To
Yep.
me, like these companies like Microsoft and Facebook, they want to own like the meta hub. You know, I want to own the hub that all these companies have to come to. They
Yep.
want their own digital store. They're gonna have to
Yep.
pay for like like digital land, and we get, they're gonna get a cut of all of the, like outfits or, I
Yeah.
guess digital pets
They're
and
gonna get
all
a
of that. You know what I
percentage.
mean?
Mm-hmm. They're gonna get a
Exactly.
percentage of it. Yeah. And they're like, oh, you could take your meta character and have their own home, right? You can make that home look like
Yeah.
your own, and they could sell you a pet abbot. They could. It's just the Sims. You take the Sims, but
Right.
you blur that line between, right? Like real life and 3D avatar, right? And then you just upsell everything, clothes, jewelry,
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
It's literally like a PlayStation Home reimagined. Like
Yeah.
PlayStation Home. It was a good idea, but it was kind of before its time. Like the power, processing power, and all of that
Yeah.
stuff wasn't there. So it was kind of janky. But
Yeah.
now that we have a lot more, bandwidth and,
Yeah.
more powerful machines. They can make it look a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just, and then you look at it like this, like, what's stopping this from? What's stopping, like, they have like those glasses, right? Where like Facebook
Mm,
can what was it? Facebook's releasing those Ray-Ban glasses. Like, what if you introduce like AR into the glasses, right? And you don't see you no longer, I don't see you anymore. I see your avatar, right? Like if I have the glasses on,
right.
I don't know. I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah. I think they're looking at, this is going to be a huge cash cow, man. Because, okay, say they, they're able to create like the next social media, but it's like this meta platform, and you have these influencers or whatever.
Yeah.
They're selling like clothes there,
Mm-hmm.
and a million people will say, "Oh, that's cool. I want that for my character." And
Yeah.
they they sell a million of this digital item. Like once the
Yeah.
artist creates it once, unlike in the real world, if you want to produce another shirt to sell, it costs money. You know what I mean?
Once
But
the item's made, they
there's
could
no
just,
additional cost. Exactly. So I think that's kind of like the next big gold rush, so to say.
you think so? You think like whoever gets to the metaverse first, right? Like they could, yeah, no, that makes sense, right? They could set the
Because
president for everything and take over.
like right now things are kind of stale, really. You know what I mean? Like in terms of the web, like what more can be done? Like in terms of
Yeah.
the flat 2D web, it's like, okay, here's a carousel, here's
Hmm.
a thing sliding up when you go to this part of the page. It's
Yeah.
just all these websites look the same, but when
Yeah.
you go to the metaverse, it's like, you're entering like a 3D world. Like my world
Yeah.
can look so much better than yours. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. You're no longer you're not limited by just this page, right? The
Exactly.
technology and everything else just goes. Yeah, no, I think you're onto something. Like I think developers. It's almost like I'll never forget this. Like way back when my dad told me, yeah, you should learn this language called Go. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't. Yeah, yeah, Go. I don't, because there's always like weird languages, so I just dismissed it. And now it's like people are looking for Golang developers, like
Right.
all kinds of stuff, right? So like
Yep.
I feel like if you're just now getting into programming, or like if you're trying to pivot into this, like just go full on, like just dive in and really learn it, because I can almost guarantee like people like Microsoft and Facebook, like they're going to be looking for developers that can code this stuff and like make it look nice and make
Right.
it work.
Yeah, I can see 3D artists also having like
Yep.
a
Yep.
huge demand for 3D artists.
What is it? The Facebook metaverse artist. Didn't they say like somebody left a QR code and
No, I didn't even hear about that.
there was a like a what if in their little conference, right? And they were like, "Oh man, this
Mm-hmm.
guy left this QR code, and we can see it in real time, and like they can animate it and stuff." And they want me to pay. That's annoying. But yeah, no, they were just giving like a small example of like, what if you could like have art, right? And somebody like has a little QR code or something, and you can scan the art into the metaverse, into your group call, and then you can see the art sort of be animated in real time. Like obviously,
Oh,
like
okay. Yeah.
with like the VR headset and stuff. So yeah,
Right.
I think 3D
I
artists are
can, I
really
can
going to
also
have
kind of
a
see
feel
it.
about this.
For Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah, Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can introduce
I can
like
kind of see
Pokemon and stuff.
they say go to this real life landmark and you scan this thing and it'll bring something into your digital world, like to kind
Yeah.
of get people to interact.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true.
Well, like
It's
what do you think about the long term ramifications of everybody being plugged into this digital world?
it's off the top. Uh, Lack of sunlight, right? Like,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
like just you're not like you look at it right now. Like a lot of people working from home, and it's almost like I miss out on a lot of the sunlight that I would get by just driving around and stuff, or or going out to
Right.
get lunch, or going out, whatever, just being out and not at home. But now it's like, I've gotten used to people delivering my groceries for me through Amazon and like
Mhm.
taking Ubers to go places if I need to go places. Like I'm really, it's almost like all these different apps and stuff make it so that you don't really need to leave. And so
Right.
if I was to be able to plug myself in like Sword Art Online or something and just like live in this digital world, I know it's going to be
Mhm.
expensive up front, and two, like what kind of health ramifications are we going to have, right? Like it can't be good for us
Right.
as people to not get genuine, right? Like real, like interact, like face to face interaction and like actually touching like
Yeah.
somebody, because um,
Right.
just like talking on Discord or like sending a text messages, and I understand like VR and like talking to somebody through a headset is probably different, right? Because you can hear their voice and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's not the same. You're still missing that actual connection, and it can't be healthy for somebody to try
Right.
and replace actual social interaction with like this HoloLens and VR headsets and that type of stuff. Yeah, and I get it. Like,
Right.
um,
Yeah. Kind
I
of.
get. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, not.
I was just
It's
gonna
it's
say, ain't that kind of like the plot of the Matrix? Like, isn't that what the Matrix is essentially? Like everybody's in this digital world, but they've been in it for so long. Like
right.
unplugging
Yeah.
into the real world is like, you know what I mean? Like a huge surprise. Like the real world is so dystopian,
Yeah.
but everybody's like in this digital world. And then
Just
as
plug
you
it in.
just mentioned, Sword Art Online.
Yeah. But I've only seen a couple episodes of the anime, but for anybody who's watching, like Sword Art Online is pretty much this anime, and from what I understand, it's about this game, and the players are able to hook up using this like VR headset type deal, and they're able to just hook up and just log in and access the game that way, and they play the game that way, right? But it's like, man, it's all, and it just reminds me of this. How far are we willing to go?
Yeah, I've actually
Right.
watched like the.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying, I was about to say I watched the whole season of Sword Art Online, the whole first season, like in a day. Like just watched it back to back to back.
Oh man.
So that's actually really good.
Yeah, I've
But
seen
yeah,
a couple episodes.
you know, like you were saying, uh, the interesting thing is like once they put that headset on, they can't take it off or they'll die. So
Right.
in order for them to be able to take the headset off, they have to
Yeah.
beat the game.
They have to beat the game. Yeah. And I don't think
Like,
Facebook
and
or
if they die in the video game world,
they die in
they'll
real
die
life.
in real life.
Yeah.
Mm,
Like I don't think Facebook or Microsoft will program it that way, right? Like I hope they
right.
won't. but it's like, but it's like, what kind? What was it? It's almost like we don't know what social media, like what long term effects social media is going to have on
Mm,
our
yeah,
minds, right? But like I could see this just taking what social media does to us and like amplifying it to the 10th power or whatever. Because
right,
if you don't have, let's say you can't, let's say you, well, let me not say you can't, but let's say you don't have the fancy cars and the nice house and the nice clothes, right, in real life. But then in VR world, right, you've got the Lambo, you've got the newest J's, you got, you know, the 5 bedroom house and
right,
20 car garage. Like you have all this stuff, right? But like to your mind, you're thinking, I got this, right? Even
right.
though I don't physically have it, but your mind thinks like, yeah, I could just log in and then boom, it's right there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Like, what are people? You know how like social media is already like super addicting. You know, a lot of people have withdrawals when it gets taken away. But imagine like this is so much more immersive. So imagine like you like your digital life better than your real life. Like you
yeah.
say, like, you know, you're super big shot with the
Mhm,
Lambo and all of that
mhm.
in the digital world, and then you can't access it. Like you get a kid gets grounded or something, and they
Yeah,
got to go back to regular life where like they're nobody really, you
yeah.
know?
Or they're not as famous as they, or they're not as
Right.
popular as they think they are. Yeah,
Like how do they deal with that withdrawal? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know. That's yeah, yeah. That's gonna be tough. Like raising kids in that type of generation is gonna be, and or even now, from what I've seen, right? Like people, like what is it? They call it clout. Clout is an addiction, right? People just
Mm,
they do all these crazy things just to go viral and just to be, popular or famous for like that flash in a pan. But like, it's I feel like the more these social media apps grow or like expand, the worse off we are, really. Like not trying to be a downer, but it's like social media is doing more harm than good, and like just adding 3D on top of it can't be a good sign.
yeah, like what's really a concern to me too is like how do you control the flow of information? You know what I mean? Like it's kids when they plug into the internet, they can pretty much access whatever they want.
Yeah,
And now when they can get like a 3D version of it, you know, like how do you know some grown guys and trying to talk to your kid? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. That's true. Yeah, no, you are 100% correct. Like I think it's up to, man, wow, dang.
Like, how do you
Wow.
tell too? You know what I mean? Like, okay, this grown 40-year-old guy, he has a teddy bear, cute teddy bear avatar, and he's using that to kind of like gain the trust of 13-year-olds. Like, how do you say, okay, this guy is definitely 40 years old?
Yeah.
Talking to, you know what I mean? You gotta. I
How do you
think
regulate that?
exactly. Like,
Like,
they're probably gonna have to have something like you need to show your ID before you get to log into the metaverse to verify your age, or you know what I mean?
yeah. No, that's maybe depending on how far it goes. Depending on how far it goes, like
Right,
because if like the metaverse could be one thing, right? But and that might all be through Facebook, right? That might all just be like, okay, it's you and your friends on Facebook, and then that's up to you to sort of filter out who you talk to on Facebook, and then but then if it's open season, like was that one show? Not show, but if it's just like an MMO RPG where like it's just free roam, people just come and
right,
go as they please, then I could definitely see it being a problem.
yep,
And like, how do you police that? Like,
right,
how do you report like he had a teddy bear avatar, right? But then
right,
like somebody has to be regulating that type of stuff, right? So it's like, man, like right now, if a post gets flagged or a video gets flagged, it gets reported and taken down. How do you report somebody that you met, even if it's for a
right,
brief moment? Like, how do you report that person? Like, because they could just easily change the avatar and be off doing it again
right,
somewhere else.
exactly. And kind of like think about this, man. Like with Facebook, it leaves like a digital trail. Like, if this grown guy is talking to kids, somebody can look inside the database of it, look at his history of posts and say,
Yeah,
okay, you talked to XYZ at this date. But if you go into the metaverse and it's just like vocal interactions, unless every conversation is being recorded,
yeah,
like there's no trail of, this guy
yeah,
having a conversation. You know what I mean?
yeah. And they will. I can't see Facebook not harvesting data from this, right? Like,
Right.
regardless if it's like right if we're talking about promoting um like if we're talking about selling skins and selling accessories and stuff, they've got to be like looking at, okay, this person has a history of buying these items, we're going to promote these. It's almost like because you bought this, you might be interested in
Mhm.
this, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
they got to be using that to advertise to you and
Yeah.
say like, all
Yeah.
right,
Mhm.
there, we already made this much money off of these transactions, let's try to get him to buy more. And
Right.
oh man, have you seen this anime called what is it, Agretsuko?
No. No.
It's on Netflix. Well, there's a season where she the main character is a girl named Retsuko, and she plays this dating simulator, and it's in VR. And so she ends up like spending like all this money on this like virtual boyfriend experience, and like
Mhm.
what if they make a transaction, or they make it so like on the metaverse, like what if um you you could buy you could buy a virtual simulation of a person,
Mhm.
and
Right.
it is all AI, right? Machine learning,
Mhm.
AI, and you mix all that together, and you just create a a, a person, like it's a
Yeah.
program, right? It's a bot, but it's a person, right?
Right. Yeah.
And
It's gonna be really weird. Like you're dating a AI, digital AI. But it's like custom tuned to whatever
yeah, yeah,
personality you want.
hmm, yep, yep. That man, no, no, no. We're going too far, man. We need to turn
And
back.
it's kind of like we said in the podcast before, they're gonna be harvesting data,
Yeah,
analyzing your behaviors,
yeah,
and if you want to be employed at this company, we need to see your the data on how
on
you
the
are
history.
interacting in the metaverse.
Hmm. employment history, like how you act. Mm-hmm.
And something that a lot of these big companies want to do, they want to push us to digital ID, meaning like every person is tied to like this singular number. Like your number is just for you. That's what identifies you on the web, across the web. You know what I mean?
Really? Is that
So I'm
real?
thinking, yeah, it is. They're pushing for it.
What? Wow,
Like,
that's crazy.
if you type in like digital identification, it'll come up. Uh, like I think it's like ID 2020 or something. So I'm thinking like they're gonna tie this in with the metaverse. Like if you want to participate in the metaverse, we need to know who you are. So you have to
Wow,
get your digital ID.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, huh?
Digital ID with blockchain. Oh gosh. Wow. Digital fingerprints. Dude, that's stop. Stop. I want to go back. Let's go back to dial-up.
Right. Yeah. Anonymity is pretty much gonna completely disappear. Like,
That's too much. It's too much. There's no need. What's the benefit? Right? Like what who benefits from this? Big
the
companies,
corporation.
right? Large company. Like the
Mhm.
user doesn't benefit from this. We're just
Right.
we're just at a certain point, everything's gonna become uh sellable data, right? Like
Exactly.
at the was it the Apple Watch, and they were talking about like, oh, we can scan your blood pressure, and we can scan your
Yep.
heartbeat, and like all this stuff, and it's like, man, like, okay, so you want this data on me so you can target, you can sell it to whoever, right? And it's like, man, like, okay, so you got that. Now you want my fingerprints. Okay, you got
Right.
that. Now you want
Right.
my skeleton, my calcium
The
information or
DNA
whatever.
or something.
It's like how granular, like how much information are you gonna try to harvest from somebody to a certain point, right? Like it's almost like
Like,
you were saying, like social media apps are like the 2D of data harvesting. Like let's get 3D,
right.
right?
Exactly.
Let's get your skin cells and your
Let's get your
fingerprints.
real time behavior.
Yeah, let's get
Like.
your real time behavior. Okay, you wake up at this time. Your sleep rhythm was this.
Mhm.
Your you had trouble sleeping. Let's get your dreams. Okay, you dreamed about this. We
Oh,
don't remember you dreamed about this, but yeah,
what's so crazy about the thing that you brought up about dreams? Advertisers actually want to be able to like display ads in your dreams. Like they just search for it. It's real.
okay. I'm just gonna.
It's like, once you have this digital ID, they can track you all across the web, know what you're doing at any point in time. And you have these internet of chain devices all chained
Yeah,
together,
yeah,
so giving your heartbeat and all that.
yeah,
Like they know everything about you almost. So
yeah. But what if what's stopping somebody from getting my ID? What's stopping me from trading IDs with you?
well, there's probably going to be an implantable thing eventually.
Yeah, maybe, maybe. I don't want to think about that.
Right.
That's one
Yeah,
thing I shy away from. Like I can't willingly do that.
it's crazy, man. Like, it's like interesting. Like, oh, okay, it's cool 3D world, but like if you think of the ramifications, it's like,
Yeah.
that data is pretty much the new oil or gold. You know what I mean? It's like the new
Yep.
diamond mine.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Man,
Yeah.
that's wow.
I can kind of see like a lot of people trying to like disconnect from the internet almost. Like I'm a limit,
Yeah.
my social media and this and that.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah. I have. I'll personally say that I have definitely limited like my amount of social media. Like I don't use Facebook anymore. I don't use. I rarely post on Instagram, and I'm just not. I'm just. I
Kind of
think
limit your data output.
I kind of limit my data output, right? Like Google only knows so much about me, and then
Right.
like after like I'm not saying like I'm off the grid completely, because that's a
Right.
little intense, right? Like,
It's like
I could
hard to
definitely do
do.
that,
Yeah.
but I tried not to be caught up in the like I don't use Twitter anymore. I don't use Facebook anymore. If I use Instagram, it's to message people. Um, but a lot of the more intensive things were like you're sharing every photo, right, which is just being used to
Right.
right, even if they weren't even if they weren't tracking you, but like the whole point of like, oh, this photo was taken in Spain, this photo was taken in Honduras, like
You know what's interesting about what you just said? Facebook just said they're stopping facial recognition. They're gonna stop that. So for them to stop it, they were doing it. So they're using
right,
your photos and
yeah, well
building a
that's how I
profile of
mean,
your face, and you know what I mean?
right, yeah, but it's it's not like it's how do I say it. You remember that feature? And I'm sure they probably still have it, but there's a feature on Facebook where you can tag people that are in the photo, and then if you tag people that are in the photo,
Yeah. And it
you hover
recommends.
over the photo, and then the box
Yep.
goes over that person's face, and it says this person is it'll have a box over my face and say this is Terrence,
Right.
and it's like it's not a coincidence
Right.
that this JavaScript app just knows my face out of all these other people's
Right.
faces in this photo, right? They're running an algorithm against all the photos that I have of me on there and coming up with, okay, here's the generic image of what he looks like. Let me
Yep.
find this person in all the different photos that he's been tagged in. And it's not so much that they're harvesting this data, it's just the users are willingly giving it away,
Yeah.
right?
Giving it away.
Somebody's tagging all these photos, they're
Yeah.
just okay, yeah, sure, come on in, yeah, thanks for the information, appreciate it. So yeah,
Right.
and at the end of the day, it's like,
And it's like the more photos you give them, the AI knows.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
the
And
smarter
think
the
about
AI
this:
knows.
Facebook owns Instagram. The purpose of Instagram
Yes,
is to post as many pictures of yourself as possible.
yes,
And you know,
yes,
kind of like how when you log into Instagram or whatever social media, it automatically kind of knows like what products you like. You know, is listen. You know, your TV listens to your voice, and you say,
yeah,
okay, I like such and
yeah,
such car, and then you
yeah,
see an ad with. So it's
yep,
kind of
for the
crazy. I'm
car,
pretty sure they're
yep,
associating your face with all of these, like these cars and all of that.
yep,
Man,
yep,
it's crazy, man.
yeah.
But
And
you know,
I've
it's
heard that
kind of like
from
it's so comfortable. These companies make it so comfortable. Oh, go ahead.
no, I hear you.
I
It's
was just
like
saying these companies
it's
make it so comfortable. Hmm.
yeah.
Have you read 1984 or Brave New World?
I've read 1984. I've read 1984, and I'm always saying like Big Brother's always watching. Like I know that this phone
Right,
right
right.
now is listening to me, regardless of what I'm saying. It's just picking out the little words here and there, and I'm almost certain
Yep.
that like whatever words I say, it's just coming up with a data bank of like this is getting a little
Mm,
conspiracy. But my whole deal is like, there's no way for Google to be able to advertise me something that I've only spoken about, like unless it's
right.
listening, unless I type about it like over and over again. Then yeah, I should get those search results. But when I get advertisements about something that I spoke to my mom about or my sister about, then that's like that's funky, that's creepy, and it's
Right.
happened to me before. It's like okay, like this,
Man.
I know this guy's listening.
Well,
Like
Yeah, it's not conspiracy theory. If you look it up, Samsung literally warned people like our smart TVs are listening in on your conversations. Like search for that article. I bet it'll come up. So, if you think about it, like, like when you watch a YouTube video and the closed captions come up, um, I'm wondering sometimes if those are generated by, like this AI analyzing these words and creating the closed caption. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yes, it's not conspiracy. It's real.
Will capture all nearby conversations. The TV set can share information, including sensitive data, with Samsung ads. Wow. Clarifying how the voice activation features work. If a consumer consents and uses the voice recognition feature. Oh, well, I don't use the voice recognition feature, but I'm sure it's still on. I'm sure it's still on. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna.
it's on. They still sending the data,
Yeah, it's never. It's not like
especially like when people have those little, like Alexa and all of that stuff. Those little digital assistants that
yeah,
people have.
yeah,
Yeah, that's just doing the same thing.
yeah, yeah. They just make it more convenient, like you were saying. You make it super
Right.
convenient for somebody, and then they take advantage of it, and then at the end of the day, it's almost just like, oh, thanks for the information, appreciate it.
Because it's kind of like it's crazy, but it's like it's like a peeping tom, but a digital version of it. Like it's not
No,
like a
you just
physical
let.
guy looking inside. Look.
I don't see it as a peeping tom. I see it as like you just
You
how
just
they
got your
have you ever
windows
heard of like
open.
yeah you got your windows open and so they're just looking
Right.
and then sometimes they got binoculars and then sometimes you let them into your home and they just stayed. It's like
Right.
how you can't like vampires can't enter a home unless you invite them in, but then you invited them in and
Right.
now they're always there because I got Siri listening here. I got the TV downstairs. I got my Sonos speaker uh, downstairs too. It's like I got this webcam,
Right.
capturing my face. It's like you can't get away from it completely, but you just got to be smart about your usage of it. And
Mm.
I think that's when it comes when what really comes to play is like you got to be smart because without it, like without being smart, you're giving away like almost too much information. Yeah.
Right. I think I've actually heard of like one of these devices kind of listening in on somebody's conversation, and the person at the company, they kind of heard the conversation. I think it was like a guy arguing with his wife, and he ended up calling the police on that person, and like maybe beating his wife or something.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
just like, uh, it, it's also a negative. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a random person is just like literally inside of your house, able to listen in on what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like like in North Korea or whatever, like the hotels are bugged. So you better be careful what you say.
Wow.
But we're literally getting the bugs in our house, but it's so
Uh-huh.
pleasurable. Like it's wrapped in such a pleasure pill that it's no big deal. We want this here, like we're almost
Yeah.
inviting our enslavement in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of a positive.
1984, Brave New World.
Yeah.
I mean, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
But like 1984 was kind of like the dictatorial type, like a
Yeah.
North Korea where the government is real oppressive, brave, more like what we now like. You're enslaved and it's pleasurable. Like you bring the devices into your home, it makes you feel good. That's why you bring it here.
Yeah. Yeah. They were saying I was listening to another podcast the other day, and they're mostly comedians, right? They make jokes out of a lot of like like political topics and stuff like that. And he was like, man, like he was talking about MySpace, right, and Facebook. And he was like, when Facebook first came out, like we didn't know what we were doing, right? Like back then it was just, messages and like pictures and games and stuff.
Right.
It wasn't as crazy as it is now. And he made a joke. He was like, yeah, but like looking back, we were just slamming our brains with dopamine. That's why it felt so good. And like, looking back at it now, it's like, wow, like even now with like Twitter and Instagram and like all these social media networks, you're just constantly just like getting those little hits of dopamine, and it's almost like we need
Isn't that what Facebook is on fire for now? Like they know, like, isn't that what like Facebook is under fire for now? Like they know, like their behavior is producing like addictive personalities in these kids.
Yeah.
But they're still pushing for it. Like they know that and somebody clicking it, that makes you feel, that makes you want to come back. Like the bright red alert message that makes you want to return back. You know what I mean? To keep you attached to your phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like in your mind, like how do you kind of rectify this? Like how do you protect yourself against this?
Well, one thing is like to just cut off like your use of it, right? Like if there was, I've taken to the point where it's like, okay, do I need to know everything that somebody's thinking, right, on their wall? Do I need to know like all this information about somebody?
Right.
And like I had to ask myself one day a long time ago, like if I know what somebody's doing every day out of the week or every time they post, when we meet, I don't have anything to talk about because I already know where they've been for that week or what they've been doing up until the point that we met. I know that they went on a vacation. I know that they had a kid. Right. I know that they got married. I know all this stuff. It takes the excitement out of meeting somebody again after all this time.
Yeah.
And so I just decided, like, you know what? Like, if anybody really genuinely cared about me, they'll reach out to me. Like, my number hasn't changed in 20 years. And if they want to reach out to me, they'll reach out to me. And if they don't, then like having them as a friend on Facebook is just another number. So that's my whole perspective on it. Like, I get it. Like some people use social media to stay in touch, but like, I just feel like if the person like really was like your boy or your homegirl or whatever, they'll reach out to you. Like you don't need to watch their every move on Facebook or Instagram.
Exactly. I pretty much just use like Facebook for the messenger. I mean, like, I don't really post all these videos and every little thing on every day. Because like you say, like you have a bunch of people that are your so-called friends on Facebook, but they never hit you up, they never message you, but you just like random people, a bunch of information about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. People get like share information. They play those little games like put your birthstone, that represents your birth month or so. You know what I mean? Like topaz, emerald, etc.
Yeah.
If a person asks you enough of those questions, they can string together a lot of information about you, like get your birth date, or what city you were born in. But it seems like a fun game, but they're piecing together all this information.
Yep. Then there's man, we just don't know. We like a lot of it seems innocent, but at the end of the day, it's only as innocent as as the developer makes it. And
Right.
it's like those games that that they have at like restaurants. The restaurants have these iPads now, and they can give the
Right,
iPads
right.
to your kids. But I saw a video on Reddit the other day. It's called I think it's called Asshole Designs. I think that's the subreddit, and the advertisement was designed to look like a game, right? So it had like Spider-Man swinging in the background, and it had a button that said "Play Now,"
Right.
but the button was like underneath the button, the Play Now text. It was like add, like Play Now and add 20, like you're subject to a certain amount of charge on your receipt if you like play the game or blah 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 blah. So it's like they're trying to sneak in those those transactions, right? Like
Kind of like robots, they all the kids are addicted to that. Like, but if you get this gun or something, you know, you and just got your credit card, just whatever they want. Like a lot of these free games, they're really just and transact from you. Like, kids in the digital world, they want the digital world. So once that world,
yeah,
pay $5.99 for these digital Jordans,
yeah.
you know. They got a big cash cow now, like people to the world and still digital merchandise.
Hey, Kevin,
Okay,
you're breaking up.
for example, go ahead. Oh, I was saying the new move now is having people enter into these digital worlds and selling them digital merchandise, like
Yeah,
even digital land or digital houses.
yeah. Maybe we have. I think we had to see it.
Well, it's already here. People are already buying digital land. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
Type that up real quick. I bet you it'll come up.
Oh man. What? I'm done. That's too much.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, we're done here. I think I'm done with the podcast for today. I think I'm done. That's too much, man. Virtual real estate is sold in the form of non-refundable token. NFTs, wow.
We're headed into some interesting times, man. And they sold it for like $1 million. Yes, that's so crazy. Like something that's free, they can sell it to you for $1 million. And you remember those NFTs or whatever?
Yeah.
Like people are paying insane amounts of money for like a flat 2D image. Like what's up with that?
Yeah. I don't know. Then there's scams going around with that NFT stuff, man.
I bet it looks like money laundering.
Yeah, essentially that's what it boils down to. It's like I watched this guy called CoffeeZilla on YouTube. Him and Mudahar or some ordinary gamer. I'll send you the videos on Discord, but they've basically like CoffeeZilla specifically. He'll basically like debunk a lot of these crypto currency scams and these NFT scams because like did you see about that Squid Games crypto? How it spiked at like a couple million and then it just tanked. Yeah.
Well, just like pumping and dumping a stock, like that's just a new version of it. Like You get in early, you create it, you get in early, have everybody hyped up about it, everybody buys it, you dump.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's essentially what's happening now. It's like, except with like when it comes to NFTs, there was this one dude who ran this site that sold NFTs, and he knew all of the newest NFTs that would come out. And so, or like as like before they would come out, he knew that they were going to release. It's almost like if I know I'm going to release a product on my store, and then I promote it, I get people hyped up about it, and then I buy it early. I buy it before it even drops,
Right.
and then I sell it, right? And it's like
that's like insider trading, ain't it?
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He's like that's insider trading, and like even people on
Yeah.
Twitter were saying like, you know, if this was like regulated, like you could go to jail for insider trading, blah 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 blah. But the thing is this it's like the Wild West. Like a lot of this stuff is brand new, and we don't have laws and stuff in place to regulate any of this stuff, man. And like even with like with Bitcoin, right? Like they have like there was one case where they have like a programmer say like, okay, here's these anti-well measures, meaning like customer or a consumer can't buy more than or can't sell more than this. They have to wait like a certain duration of time before being able to sell X amount of their cryptocurrency, right? So that it prevents somebody from just being able to buy a bunch of currency and then dumping it. So
exactly.
And then there's been cases where like, okay, if I'm a dev and I'm getting paid by an employer and they tell me, no, change it so that we could dump, like, even though we showed investors like, hey, we have this anti-well technology, we want you to, before we go live, change it so that way we could just buy all this Bitcoin and then dump it later.
Right.
So like it's like, if I'm a dev, am I held liable for making those changes if my employer asks me to make those changes?
Yeah, I guess I'm pretty sure like he'll have greater accountability because he told you to do it, but you did it. Kind of, like with the Nazis, a lot of them tried to get off by saying, well, the military told me to do it.
Right.
They didn't really accept that excuse. It's like they're gonna say you have the right to say no. You have the ability to, right? Or like an accountant, the cook in the books. Like my CEO told me to cook these books. Well, no, you could have said no. You could have reported them and left to a different company.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have ethics as programmers. Like if somebody's telling us to do something illegal, you got to be ready to get out of the company.
Yeah, just drop. Like, all right, I'm out. Like, all right, I'm ahead.
I think, like sometimes like when you just see like random people just quit these companies, it's probably like something going on like that. Like, why did this big wig just leave out of nowhere?
Yeah. When you've seen,
then,
seen figureheads.
Yeah, like a couple months later, the stock tank. Exactly.
Yeah.
But man, did you have any other interesting news?
I think that's everything for right now. I can't beat everything we talked about today. And I think everything is sort of on topic. So I'm cool with finishing off right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was a good conversation, man. I didn't really expect it to take that turn that it did, but
it was fun.
Kind of like
it's all fun.
Yeah. But all right, well, we'll see y'all next time.
All righty. Peace, people.
Peace.